Welcome, and thank you for taking the time to be with us to learn about Act 3 and Act 1 of the continuous improvement process. For our agenda today, we are going to review Act 3 and Act 1 of the continuous improvement process to ensure that you know how to prepare for as well as facilitate each meeting. You can access the link to the agenda and note catcher by using the bit.ly on the slide, bit.ly/Act3 Act 1 agenda. Please note that that is case sensitive. You will click Use Template to make your own copy to take notes on. This document also includes all the links that we will reference today. Our outcomes for this session are to prepare leaders to lead data-driven conversations, to reflect on school goals, and to make decisions about changes to the school improvement plan for the upcoming school year. By the end of this session, you will be able to facilitate Act 3 and Act 1 of the continuous improvement process, know where to access guidance and resources, and how to record all the necessary sections in the Plan for Learning online platform. The first portion of today's session is on Act 3, Reviewing Our Journey. Act 3 gives school-based teams the opportunity to reflect on their school improvement efforts and make decisions about what to continue, correct, or cancel from the next iteration of the school improvement plan. As the CI team lead, your first responsibility is to schedule and facilitate CI team meetings. As you plan for your meetings, you'll want to keep these due dates and assistance opportunities in mind. Spring map data will be available in Focus Ed by May 19th. However, schools can access data in the NWEA platform once testing is complete. Act 3 end-of-year reflection is due in Plan for Learning no later than June 5th. Open labs will be available throughout the months of May and June to support with the completion of the work. You and your team may attend the open labs anytime between 8 a.m. and 3 p.m. on those dates. These will be posted in the wire and available for registration in Elms on May 1st, 2026. The 2026-2027 plan is due on June 30th. We'll give you a moment to think about this information and ensure that you are considering this when planning ahead for Act 3 and Act 1, as well as including your SOT in the process. Since Act 3 is due June 5th, you will need to ensure that you are meeting with your SOT and informing SOT members of Act 3 reflections and obtaining their approval of the proposed changes that will be incorporated into the plan during Act 1. SOT approval is required prior to region supervisor approval, so you will want to ensure you have their approval before you submit your plan. As the CI team lead, you are also responsible for preparing and describing data visualizations, distributing tasks to team members, submitting completed work, and informing and soliciting input from the community to support the school's continuous improvement efforts. As you are collecting and analyzing data for your CIT meetings, it is important to present the data in a way that articulates the analysis. The members of the team should not be analyzing the data during the meeting, but instead engaging in conversations, connecting the findings to the goal in order to reflect on the improvement strategy and action steps. The Now Next Need protocol guides these important conversations and helps the team accomplish the meeting objectives. Are we going to stay the course? Do we need to make any corrections to our plan? Do we need to remove any of the content for next year's improvement plan? This is the real purpose of Act 3, reflecting on the plan and using that information to inform Act 1. Therefore, you cannot and really should not do this work alone. It is important to distribute tasks to other members of your team. Think about who could support with the collection and analysis of data aligned to the goals and action steps. It can be beneficial to distribute the Now Next Need protocol ahead of the meeting to give team members time to reflect. During the meeting, ensure you have assigned roles to help with the documentation and ensuring that you get through all 3 inquiry areas in the allotted time. The editor can make updates in the Plan for Learning platform either during or after the meeting. In the Plan for Learning platform, the editor will select status checks and end-of-year reflection from the inquiry areas menu on the left toolbar. This is where the Act 2 status checks have already been completed. Scroll to the end-of-year section for June. For each goal and improvement strategy, select either Continue, Cancel, or Correct. Correct meaning that revisions are needed from the end-of-year selection dropdown. And then summarize the outcomes of your Act 3 discussions in the Lessons Learned, which is the Now questions, and the Next Steps and Needs sections. Please note that only the goals and improvement strategies where Continue or Correct are selected will be duplicated to next year's plan. If you select Correct, you will make the adjustments to the goal and improvement strategies when you update your plan during Act 1. In order to communicate with the broader school community, your last step as the CI team lead is to download a PDF and post it to your school's website. To do this, select the print icon in the upper right corner of Plan for Learning and navigate to the Status Checks with Notes. Once clicked, this document will automatically appear in your downloads. After posting to the school's website, please complete the Act 3 website submission form. In summary, as you engage in Act 3, you will prepare relevant data, meet with both your CI team and your SOT, reflect the outcomes of the work in Plan for Learning, and post Act 3 on your school website and complete the submission form. Detailed directions for Act 3, along with links to resources, can be found on your note catcher on the Act 3 directions and resources.
Act 3 provides school teams with the information needed to revise and complete the plan for the upcoming school year, which is Act 1 in this continuous improvement process. Once you have finished the end of your reflection and are ready to begin working on the 26-27 plan, we know you don't want to start from scratch. We recognize the majority of information does not change from one year to the next, and therefore Plan for Learning makes it easy to duplicate the current year's plan into the next year's plan template. It's a fairly simple process to duplicate the plan. From the Home tab in Plan for Learning, you click the drop-down menu as shown here and select the 2026-2027 option. Then from the setting gear in the top right-hand corner of your screen, select Duplicate Plan. Again, you will want to be finished with Act 3 before you duplicate your plan. You have the ability to customize what you want to duplicate. Simply check or uncheck the options to meet your needs and ensure the plan years are accurate. Plan for Learning gives you the option of including canceled improvement strategies. You'll want to uncheck that box so goals and strategies you have decided not to continue with will not duplicate. There are areas you will not duplicate. Any status checks, community outreach activities, classification on plan setup, and plan approval dates. These sections will need to be manually completed. We will provide you with step-by-step directions on how to duplicate your plan and will support you in person at a work session. Once the plan has been duplicated, you will need to review and update all sections in Plan for Learning to ensure it is accurate and that the information is current. Every school improvement plan should address gaps among student groups in the equity supports table. Additional initiatives such as AB 335, which requires a goal focused specifically on English learners, AB 285, which requires a focus on reducing disproportionate discipline practices, and the district's new strategic plan may impact goals, improvement strategies, and/or action steps. Any impacts will be addressed and supported during an in-person work session, so be sure to plan on attending one of those sessions. Over 150 schools are receiving funds from 1003A School Improvement Grant. If you are receiving these funds for services and programs from external partners, such as Coachly, Savas, iReady, or others, please ensure these efforts are captured in your school improvement strategies and action steps. If you are receiving funds for tutoring, collaboration, or professional learning, extra duty pay, prep buyouts, etc., this should also be included in your plan. As the district transitions to iReady as a formative assessment, goals can be written using projected proficiency. Please ensure any goals and action steps referencing MAP are updated in your plan to reflect this change. For additional guidance and resources, you may access the CCSD Implementation Manual, the iReady Padlet, or our goals guidance that is linked in the Act 1 directions. To review, Act 1 requires you to duplicate the school improvement plan, review changes, revise and complete, consult guidance, and review the school improvement approval checklist. We have linked the navigation guidance in the Act 1 directions for your convenience. This navigation guidance will take you through each section that needs updating in the Plan for Learning. When ready, from the home page in Plan for Learning, hit Submit, and the School Improvement Department will review your plan and provide you with feedback before your supervisor looks at your submission. We are unable to review plans until they are submitted in the system. As a reminder, the due date for the Act 1 plan submission is June 30th, 2026. That's this year. Please make every effort to attend a work session where we can provide you with assistance. And again, these will be posted in the wire and available for registration in Elms on May 1st. There is an implementation checklist linked in the note catcher agenda. Please feel free to utilize this resource as you work through each step during Act 3 and Act 1 to ensure all components are complete. Reviewing success criteria, we're going to return to our outcomes today, and hopefully you'll feel comfortable with your ability to facilitate Act 3 and Act 1 at your site. You know how and where to access guidance and resources, and you're familiar with the Plan for Learning navigation. Please don't hesitate to directly contact your coordinator assigned to your region or call the School Improvement Department if you need any support. Remember, we are here to help.